Northern Light Webcasting Network and NLWN TV in conjunction with Colfax High School presents Viking pregame. A look at today's Colfax Vikings boys game. And now, Viking pregame.
Good evening and welcome to the NLWN TV studios, where tonight the Colfax Viking boys are getting ready to take on their biggest rival, the Elk Mound Mounders, in a Dunn St. Croix Conference matchup, the results of which will have a big impact on the conference standings. Rick Olson here, and soon I'll join Dan Petchow as we're getting ready to bring you all the play-by-play action of tonight's game right here on the Northern Light Webcasting Network and NLWN TV. Now, coming up in this edition of Viking pregame, we'll take a look at tonight's matchup between the Elk Mound Mounders and the Colfax Vikings. Then we'll get Coach Noel's perspective on tonight's game in Coach's Corner. Following that, we'll bring you all the play-by-play action of tonight's game. So it's time to get ready for some exciting high school boys basketball. All that coming up right after this brief timeout. You're tuned to Viking pregame on the Northern Light Webcasting Network and NLWN TV.
Once there was a boy who did the same thing again and again. One day he was told he had autism. He got help and slowly learned how to live with it better.
Early intervention can make a lifetime of difference. Learn the signs at autismspeaks.org.
Welcome back to Viking pregame, where Dan Petchow and I are getting ready to bring you all the action of tonight's boys basketball game between the 7-6 Elk Mound Mounders and the 3-4 Colfax Vikings. Now, the Vikings are coming off an exciting and big victory over the Spring Valley Cardinals last Tuesday by a score of 53-51. Now, that win puts the Vikings only a half a game behind tonight's opponent and the conference-leading Elk Mound Mounders. The Vikings are going to be quite busy as they have to make up 3 games that were postponed due to COVID-19. However, the Vikings are tied for the conference lead in the loss column, so their destiny is in their own hands. Now, in that game against the Spring Valley Cardinals, the Vikings were led in scoring by seniors Caden Erickson and Drew Gibson, who pumped in 13 points each. They were followed by junior Nate Hajdukovic, who added 8 points, and seniors Tanner Hoffman and Noah Hydorn, who each contributed 6 points to the effort. The Vikings are led in scoring this season by Erickson, who's putting up nearly 14.5 points per game. Erickson's followed by Gibson, who's adding nearly 11, and by Hydorn, who drops in almost 8 points per game. The leading rebounder for the Vikings is Gibson, who grabs 6.5 boards per game. The Elk Mound Mounders are currently 7-6 overall and are 4-1 in the Dunn St. Croix Conference, and defeated the Boyceville Bulldogs last Tuesday night 78-40. They come into tonight's game averaging nearly 54 points per game while giving up over 51. That compares with the Vikings scoring nearly 53 points per game while giving up 58. The Mounders are led in scoring by 5'11 senior guard Ryan Bowl, who's putting up over 12 points per game. Also contributing to the Mounders scoring is 6'2 freshman forward Russo and 6'4 senior forward Ben Heath, who added 11 and 10 points per game respectively. Heath is also the team's leading rebounder, pulling down just over 5 boards per game. Now, coming up next, following this timeout, we'll get Coach's perspective as we chat with the Viking head coach, Mark Noel, on Coach's Corner. You're tuned to Viking pregame on the Northern Light Webcasting Network and NLWN TV.
After you joined our family, it was like, I really do feel complete now.
Time now to see what the coaches have to say. It's Coach's Corner, what they look at tonight's game from the coach's point of view. And now, Coach's Corner.
Today on Coach's Corner, we're going to talk with Viking boys head coach Mark Noel. And Coach, Last Tuesday night, the Vikings showed that even after nearly a month layoff between the holidays and COVID issues, they're a force to contend with in the Dun St. Croix Conference. The boys knocked off first place Spring Valley 53-51, and since we weren't available to cover that game, can you fill us in?
Yeah, I mean, obviously it was a great game, exciting game. Came down to a last second shot, but within that whole realm of the game, we were down six at halftime, but I felt like we were in a good position, only being down six. And I think the most we were down by was 9 in the first half, and we had a couple things that maybe didn't go our way that went their way, and I felt if we could make a couple of adjustments, that we could make up that 6 points in the second half. And we did hold them to, I believe, 17 or 18 second half points. So to do that is really, really good. And they scored most of those on out of bounds plays against us, to be honest with you. And but get back to the game and stuff. We talked about the first 5 minutes of the second half coming out strong and finding a way in that first 5 minutes to keep it at 6 or below 6. Don't let this thing balloon to 7, 8, 9, 10 in their favor. And we did a great job in that first 5 minutes. I think we tied it up and got it back to where we wanted it to be so it could be a dogfight. We had a ton of kids really step up. I mean, I would say we had 8, 9 kids that made a big play for us, whether it was a big defensive stop, a steal, a rebound, a putback, something, somebody brought something to the table all the time. And late in the game, with about two and a half minutes left in the game, we ran 2 quick hitters, and we didn't get what we wanted. We didn't get the shot we wanted, and we were smart enough to bring it back out. And we took a minute off the clock there and called the timeouts. And then I just went with my gut feeling, and my gut told me that we needed to just go for the last shots, go for the win. And so what we did is we went to what I call 3-guard offense, where we go into like a spread offense. And we took that minute and about 28 seconds off the clock. And with about 12 seconds left, 13 seconds left, we ran another quick hitter where we got a drive to the basket. And we decided to kick it out to one of our shooters who was wide open. And we missed that shot, but we rebounded the missed shot. Tanner Hoffman did, and put it in with 1.8 seconds left to have a 2-point lead.
You're going to have as much gray hair as I do if you keep that stuff up.
Yeah, I'm on my way.
Well, I tell you what, it sounds like a total team effort, too. The scoring was spread out. You had players all contributing in different ways. That's kind of what you're hoping for. And,
Yes,
and tonight, it's not going to get any easier for the Vikings as they take on a rival and the team that's only a half game ahead of them in the standings, the Elk Mound Mounders. What can you tell us about the Mounders?
Well, first of all, obviously they're a good team, a very good team, and they play a 1-3-1 defense. That's their main defense that they're going to play it. And they have a little bit different way of doing it, but they're aggressive in their ways of playing a 1-3-1. And so it's going to come down to, making perimeter shots, not turning the ball over, and getting offensive rebounds and getting some putbacks in, get some easy shots. And then that's on the offensive end. On the defensive end, we've got to get our stops. We got to do our thing on defense and play our style that we want to play. And so it comes down to 2 teams, trying to dictate how they want to play the game. And excuse me, when you play, I was part of these games way back in the day. When you play Elk Mound, you can throw all the records out the door. It doesn't really matter. The kids all know each other, and they're fired up to play. And usually, no matter what, it's usually a pretty good game.
Now, with your upcoming schedule, due to the makeup games from COVID-19, you're facing boy, if I counted right, and I could be wrong on this, something like 7 games in 21 days. That's a game every third day or something. That puts a lot of pressure on the boys. Are there any adjustments to the handling of the team to keep the players fresh throughout that stretch?
Yeah, I think there's, after yesterday's practice, or the day after we played Spring Valley, that what we talked to the kids about there was the day after that game, we need to work on what we need to work on to get ready for Elk Mound, but we also need to take some time off of that and not go our normal full 2 hours of practice. And we wanted to take a little time off, and I explained to them that we have to be mature about this. We're doing it because we have to save legs for all the games that we have coming up in the future as well. And so we need to really take advantage of the time that we have, but we need to be smart off the court. We need to make sure we're getting our sleep, we're getting our rest, and that we're taking care of our injuries that if we have any. And we don't really have any injuries, but it's more like little bruises, stuff like that they got to take care of.
Now, there seems to be a 3-way bottleneck at the top of the conference standings between Spring Valley, tonight's opponent, Elk Mound, and the Vikings. Boy, that's got to make things pretty exciting at this time of the season.
Yeah, and honestly, we're not going to talk about that with the kids, to be honest with you, because ultimately, yes, the ultimate goal is to win a conference championship, and that's something that we want to do. And the kids know that without me really having to talk about it. And we're going to have to play Elk Mound again, and we're going to have to play Spring Valley again. We haven't even played Durand yet, so we've got a lot of big games ahead of us, and so that's why it shouldn't really be in our mind. What we're constantly talking about right now with our team is that we just want to play our best basketball, as in take care of what we can take care of. We need to play as hard as we can. We need to play together as a team as much as we can. When we had those 2 weeks off during that quarantine, we had a bunch of video calls where we watched film and had some guest speakers. I had Eddie Andrews, former coach at Stout, and the current coach, Jim Lake at UW Stout, come on and talk to the boys for an hour each. And I think it was really good for these kids just to hear different perspectives and different coaches talk to them. And I think that really helped us stay locked in mentally during our break, to have a whole month off between games, and then to play the way that we did was amazing, because it goes back to the kids, because they did a great job of staying focused and staying in shape and all those things during break.
Well, tonight it's the Mounders. So what Viking players should we look to step up tonight?
I mean, obviously, I'm big into that. Your senior. It starts with your seniors. Your seniors are the ones that really have to step up, because ultimately, in this world that we live in, every game could be our last game, and seniors are the ones that have the most experience and the most on the line. So they're the ones that step up first, and then our junior class on down. And I look for all of them to make big plays, and I want all of our kids. I don't care if they have a 1-minute roll, 5-minute roll, 10-minute roll, 25-minute roll, or if their roll's on the bench. Let's all bring our efforts. And it comes down to energy. We're really big on talking about energy, because energy is contagious, and we want positive energy going on.
Well, are there any, you mentioned, in fact, that you really don't have any injuries other than some bumps and bruises, but are there any illnesses or leftover COVID protocols that we should be aware of?
No, there's nothing going on there, Rick. The only issue is the coach eats too much pizza. It's the only issue that we have.
Yeah, I know. I understand that problem, and I have it all the time. Well, Coach Noel, good luck on tonight's game. It's the Mounders. It's always special when it's the Mounders. So have a good one tonight.
All right, thank you.
You've been listening to Coach's Corner, where they look at tonight's game from the coach's point of view. This has been a presentation of the Northern Light Webcasting Network.
It takes a village to help somebody get their diploma. It changes your whole life.
Find free adult education classes near you at finishyourdiploma.org.
Welcome back to Viking Pregame. the Vikings are looking to move into first place in the Dunn St. Croix Conference. On the other hand, the Elk Mound Mounders would like to open up their first place conference lead. So tonight, it's a battle for the top of the conference standings, and the stage is set for some exciting boys high school basketball. And we'll have all the action for you right here on the Northern Light Webcasting Network and NLWN TV. In just a moment, I'll be heading over to the school to join my colleague Dan Petchow as we'll bring you all the action of tonight's boys game between the Colfax Vikings and the Elk Mound Mounders. That's all coming up next. You've been tuned to Viking Pregame on the Northern Light Webcasting Network and NLWN TV.
Put the keys down, Kevin.
But I'm gonna drive home.
There are several warning signs present that you shouldn't be driving.
I've taken 25 selfies in the last 10 minutes.
26.
Yep, I'm definitely gonna call a ride home.
You've been tuned to Viking Pregame with a look at today's Colfax Vikings boys game. This has been a presentation of the Northern Light Webcasting Network and NLWN TV. Stay tuned. Coming up next is Light Colfax Viking basketball.
There are 16 million children struggling with hunger in America. This is a serious problem, but one we can solve. Visit feedingamerica.org to help. Together we can solve hunger. Together we're feeding America.
Colfax Viking basketball is on the air.
Over to Hydorn, drives down the left side, lays it up and in. And the Vikings draw first blood.
The Northern Light Webcasting Network and NLWN TV proudly presents tonight's Colfax Viking boys varsity basketball game.
Underneath the reback, lays it up and puts it in.
Great pass by Noah Hydorner.
Join us as we head out to the gym for tonight's Viking basketball.
Back out high to Gibson, three-pointer on the way, off the front of the iron, rolls around and in. That hit the rim about 4 different places before it decided to go down and in. And good evening and welcome to Colfax High School. Rick Olson along with Dan Petchow. And Dan, it might be chilly outside, but we've got some hot basketball inside here. And so we've got the Vikings and the Mounders. So why don't you let us know who's going to play in this game?
Yeah, here's the starters for Elk Mound tonight. They're going to go with senior number 5, Ryan Ball. Sophomore number 2, Ryan Bartig. Senior number 3, Ben Heath. Senior number 4, Nate Liu. And freshman number 11, Caden Russo. For the Colfax Vikings, they go with junior number 4, Nathan Hajdukovic. Senior number 15, Caden Erickson. Senior number 21, Tanner Hoffman. Senior number 23, Noah Hydorn. And senior number 33, Drew Gibson. So,
and yeah, Dan, I'll tell you what, this game has a lot of importance tied into it. This is the battle for first place.
Yeah, two good teams are going to match up pretty good, and
they're each sitting at one loss in the conference. The winner of this game will have the best record in the loss column in the conference. Right behind them, breathing down their neck is Spring Valley. But the Vikings are hoping to take care of business tonight, and we'll see if they can't, in fact, do that. And I believe we are about to have the national anthem.
Please stay at the table. Remove your hats and place your hand over your heart on the flag as the national anthem is sung by the Colfax High School Quartet. Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes
And that's the Colfax High School quartet as we get things ready to go tonight in tonight's basketball game. Now we're going to send it back down to the scorers table, and we'll hear them announce the starting line.
Introducing the starters of the Mounders. Number 2 was sophomore Ryan Bartlett. Number 3 is senior Benjamin Beaver. Number 4 senior Nick Boone. Number 5 senior Ethan Gallagher. Number 11 freshman David Russo. And now starting on the field for Colfax Vikings.
I don't know, Dan. I was never taught to whistle that well. So out there on the floor we have, they've made a mistake in the starting lineups. Number 5 is Ryan Ball for the Mounders, and he's going to inbound it. And he gets it into Bartig, and Bartig takes it across the timeline, feeds it over to the right side, then down underneath the ball, and he puts it up and in. Mounders take the lead. 2-0. We're just underway here at Colfax. Hydorn with it, gets it over on the right side, now cross court, passing them down to Gibson in the right corner. Back out high to Hydorn. Over to Gibson from the right corner, puts the three-pointer up, it bounces off, no good. Rebound taken down by the Mounders, and down the floor they come quickly. Russo with the ball. He gets it out high to Bartig. Back over to Russo on the right side, now over to the left side to Bartig. Out high to Lou. And to Russo. Then out to Lou. Lou puts up a three. No good. Rebound. And ball goes out of bounds. Last touch by the Mounders. And so it'll be Viking ball.
We got a foul on the play, too. Fouls on number 3, Ben Heath for Elk Mound.
Okay. That'll be Heath's first personal. First team foul. Vikings have it, but not for long as the Mounders take the ball away. Come down the floor. Russo lays it up. It doesn't go. Ball gets tipped around, out of bounds. It's Vikings ball. Hoffman to inbound. He gets it into Hydorn. And Hydorn brings it down the floor. Gets it over to Gibson. High, wide, and right. Down to the right wing. To Erickson. They get it over to the left side. Ball gets tied up, and we're going to get a jump ball, and the possession arrow is in favor of the Vikings. Hydorn to inbound. Gets it out to Hajdukovic. Hajdukovic, high, wide, and left. Over to the right wing. Shot goes up, and it's in by Hydorn. And we're tied at 2. Down the floor come the Elk Mound Mounders. Lou with it. Gets it down into the corner. Now Lou's got it back. Puts up the three-pointer. No good. Rebound chased down by Russo. They swing it around to the left side. Bartig with it. Down underneath to Lou, and he lays it up and in. And the Vikings bring it down the floor. Vikings have it over on the left side. Gets it out high to Hydorn. Now down into the left corner. Back out high to Hajdukovic on the right side. To the free throw line now, out to Hydorn. Drives into the lane. Puts the shot up. It goes in. Game is tied at 4.
15:26 to go. Vikings putting on some full court pressure. Mounders get it across the timeline. Ball with it. It's down in the corner to Rousseau. They get it out to Lou, and then over to Heath. Out high to Rousseau. Heath with it. Gets it over to Rousseau on the right. Now Heath has it on the left wing, then gets down into the corner to Bartic. Tries the baseline. Ball gets loose. Gets picked up by Heath. Puts the shot up and it comes away to the Vikings. Heidorn with it. Over to Hoffman. Feeds it into the lane to Gibson. Back out to Heidorn. To Erickson. To Gibson. To Heidorn. Heidorn's high, wide, and left. Now he's got it between the circles. Feeds it over to Erickson on the right. Back over to the left side. To Heidorn. To Hajdukovic. From the left wing. Puts it up, no good. Rebound. Tipped around, out of bounds. And it's going to be Viking ball. Last touched by the Mounders. Heidorn to inbound it for the Vikings. Feeds it way out high to Erickson. High, wide, and left. Cross-court pass over to Heidorn. Heidorn looking for Hoffman. He's got it to him. Hoffman dishes it out to Hajdukovic. Back to Hoffman. Hoffman works the baseline. Tries to get it over to Gibson, but the pass is intercepted by the Mounders. Down the floor they come. Lou with it. He lays it up. It's no good. Gets his own rebound. Tries to feed it up, but it's intercepted by the Vikings. Erickson brings it down the floor. Drives into the lane. Puts the shot up. No, it doesn't go. Tip back, no good. And here come the Mounders. Bull with it. He gets it over to Lou. Back to Bull. Bull's got it between the circles. Puts up a three. It's short. And Erickson comes away with it. Heidorn takes it down the floor for the Vikings. Heidorn passes it over to the left side to Hajdukovic. Hajdukovic from three. He hit the three-pointer. Nathan Hajdukovic with the three-pointer. 7-4 Vikings on top. And they steal the inbound pass. Shot goes up. It's no good. Putback is up. It's no good. Hoffman with the putback attempt. But he drew the foul on the putback, so he's going to the line for two. Pretty tough defense that time by the Vikings. That foul, by the way, was on Bartic. Hoffman's first shot is no good. It's Bartic's first personal, second team foul on the Mounders. Second shot on the way. It's good. 8-4. Vikings up by 4. Hoffman out. Hunter Reback into the lineup for the Vikings. Mounders trying to inbound it. And we get a timeout call by the Mounders. 13:15 to go in the first half. Vikings 8, Mounders 4. You're tuned to Viking Basketball on the Northern Light Webcasting Network and NLWN TV.
Are your animals feeling a little under the weather? Give the nice folks at Colfax Animal Hospital a call. Bruce Buckley is just what the doctor ordered. In fact, he is the doctor, and he's ready to help. That's the Colfax Animal Hospital. Give them a call at 715-962-3380.
Rick Olson along with Dan Petchow. We're back here at Colfax High School. The Mounders have the ball. They're going to inbound it. They get it into Bartic. He feeds it down the floor to Jensen. Jensen back out to Bartic. Over to Bull. Back to Bartic between the circles. Works to Bull on the left side. Cross-court pass over to Jensen. Jensen puts up the three-pointer. In and out. No good. Gibson with the rebound. Down the floor comes Heidorn. Feeds it over to Hajdukovic. Back out high to Heidorn. Cross-court pass over to Erickson. Erickson from the elbow puts it up and it rattles in. 10-4 Vikings on top. Mounders bring it down. Down long pass to Jensen. Feeds it back out to Bull. To Bartic.
They get it over to Russo. And back out to Bowl. To Bartic. On the right side. Or left side, check that. Now to Lou on the right. Gets to the free throw line. Gets it back out to Bartic. To Jensen. And this is Russo with it. We get it to Jensen down in the left corner. He comes out high. Now feed it over to Russo, or to Bowl. They feed it underneath. Shot goes up and fouled on the way up is Russo. He's going to go to the line for 2. And the foul is on Hunter Reebok. First personal, first team foul on the Vikings. Caden Russo makes his first shot. And his second shot's on the way. It's also good. 10-6, Vikings on top. Reebok looking for somewhere to go, gets it to Gibson. Feeds it down the floor to Hajdukovic, and they're going to get Hajdukovic with a double dribble. His crossover dribble just wasn't real smooth that time and committed the double dribble. So the ball goes over to the Mounders. Jensen with it, gets it over to Bartig. They get it out to Russo in the forecourt. Out high to Bowl. Over to the left side, down in the corner to Russo, puts up the jumper, it's good. 10-8, Vikings up by 2. 11:25 to go in the first half. Heidorn across the timeline. Takes it down to the free throw line, into the lane. They're going to say he took us too many steps. Didn't quite get the ball out of his hands before that foot came down.
Yeah, he tried to sneak in there and do a quick pass and just kind of stutter step.
So Bartic brings it down the floor for the Mounders. Got it between the circles, gets it over to Bowl. Back out between the circles to Bartic, to Jensen, puts up the 3. He hit the three-pointer. Michael Jensen, the 6-foot senior. Heidorn with it. Gets it down to Hajdukovic in the left corner. Steps inside the arc, puts the jumper up. Gibson tries to get the rebound, but stepped on the end line when he did. Tristan Lenz into the lineup for the Vikings, replacing Hunter Reebok. Mounders up 11-10. Bartig with it. Feeds it over to Russo. They get it out high to Meyer. And they get it over to the left side to Bowl. Out high to Jensen. Over to Meyer on the right. Out to Bartig. To Jensen. Feeds it underneath. The Russo turnaround jumper is good. And he got fouled in the process. Caden Russo at the line. Shot is on the way. It's good. 14-10. Mounders up by 4. Vikings with it. Heidorn gets it over to Gibson. Back to Heidorn. To Hajdukovic. Feeds it down the right side to Erickson. Takes it into the lane. Kicks it back out to Hajdukovic. And he thought Lenz was going one way, and Lenz thought he was going the other. And the thing that went somewhere was the ball, and that was out of bounds. So the Mounders will have it. Well, we have a timeout on the floor. With 10:07 to go in the first half, you're tuned to Viking basketball on the Northern Light Webcasting Network and NLWN TV.
If you have a high-deductible health plan, opening a health savings account at Dairy State Bank will allow you to save tax-free dollars to pay for a long list of health-related services allowed by the IRS. Dairy State Bank HSAs are serviced locally and work like a regular checking account. You can use a debit card or check to pay for expenses and access your account through online or mobile banking. Visit DairyStateBank.com to learn more about HSAs and online or mobile banking. Dairy State Bank, banking on relationships. Member FDIC.
Rick Olson along with Dan Petchow. We're here at Colfax High School, bringing you a very important game in the Dunn St. Croix Conference. Mounders and Vikings. Bartek brings it down the floor, gets it over to Bowl on the left side. They get it to Meyer at the free throw line, back over to Bowl. He puts up the shot from three, and it's good. Ryan Bowl with the three-pointer. 17-10, Mounders up by 7. It's their biggest lead of the night. Vikings have it. Heidorn feeds it over to check that. Feeds it over to Albright. Back out to Heidorn. Cross court pass to Erickson, puts up the shot off the rim, no good. Erickson, or not Erickson, but Lenz with the rebound, puts it up and in. Christian Lenz gets the putback shot. 17-12, Vikings down by 5. Some full court pressure by the Vikings. Mounders get it to Russo, then to Bartig. Now out between the circles to Bowl. To Bartig on the left side. Back out high to Bowl. Over to Jensen. On the right, now into the lane to Bartig. To Jensen from the right. He hit the three-pointer. And down the floor come the Mounders. 20-15, Mounders up by 5. Or check that, 20-12. They're up by 8. Vikings have it on the left side. And Albright took an extra hop and a step. And so the ball goes over to the Mounders. Down the floor come the Mounders. This is Lou with it. He gets it over to Bowl on the right side. Back out high to Lou. Into Heath, and then over to, and we've got a traveling call against Antonio Meyer. And so the Vikings have it. Heidorn brings it down the floor. It's picked up at the center circle. Gets it over to the right side to Albright. Albright inside the arc and gets it back out high to Heidorn. They swing it around down to Lenz on the left. Lenz out high to Heidorn, but the pass gets intercepted by Heath. Takes it down the length of the floor, lays it up and in. 22-12. Mounders up by 10. Heidorn takes it down the floor for the Vikings. Erickson has it. Leads it over to Albright. Albright back out to Hoffman. Hoffman tries to get the pass off. We get a foul called on the Mounders. Foul on Ryan Bowl. It'll be the third team. First personal foul on Bowl.
Yeah, Tanner Hoffman got away with one there. He was going to travel with that and got just a little bump there from him.
So Hoffman inbound it for the Vikings. To Heidorn. Heidorn between the circles. Gets it over to Gibson on the left side. To Erickson down in the left corner. Puts up a three-pointer, but it's short. And the Mounders come away with it. 7:17 to go in the first half. Bowl with it. Directs a little bit of traffic. Gets it to Heath. Then they get it over to Lou on the right side. He takes out the top of the key to Jensen on the right. To Bowl, puts up the three. No, it doesn't go, but the rebound gets chased down by the Mounders. Bowl has it at the center circle. Feeds it over to Meyer. Back out high to Bowl. He's on the left side. Now between the circles to Lou. To Jensen. Back out to Bowl. Three-pointer, nothing but net. That's 8 points for Bowl tonight. Now the Vikings have it in the forecourt. Hydorn with it. Lead it over to Albright, to Gibson down in the left corner. Gibson tries to drive the baseline. Feeds it out to Albright, to Hydorn, and the pass into the lane gets knocked away, and the Mounders come away with it. Down the floor they come, lays it up and in. That's Dan Heath. And a timeout being called by the Vikings. They want a full 60-second timeout, so we'll take one too. You're tuned to Viking basketball on the Northern Light Webcasting Network and LWN TV.
Anderson Bridges, located in Colfax, Wisconsin, has been manufacturing prefabricated steel truss bridges since 1989. With hundreds of bridges supplied nationwide, we suspect you've crossed our path. It may have been on a pedestrian or bicycle bridge, or how about a snowmobile, ATV, or golf course bridge? Anderson Bridges is likely to have manufactured it. Founded in 1989, Anderson Bridges has been a family-owned company since its beginning and are proud to support the Colfax Vikings.
And Rick Olson back here with Dan Petchow. Vikings trailing 27-12. Hey, want to let you know we've got a little bit of a change in our schedule. The next girls game is actually going to be on Monday, January 25th, when the Viking girls travel to Elk Mound to take on the Mounders in the battle to retain the lead atop the Dunn St. Croix Conference. Viking pregame will be at 6:55, and live play-by-play will be at 7:10. That is a change, so make sure you check it out. Viking girls at Elk Mound. And Dan will actually be there for that game.
Yeah, first road game.
So the Vikings have it in the forecourt, and a high pass for Hajdukovic, and he got run into by Jensen, and we're going to get a foul called on Jensen. That's his first personal, fourth team foul on the Mounders. Hajdukovic to inbound, gets it out to Hydorn in the backcourt. Hydorn across the timeline, feeds it over to the right side to Erickson. Back out to Hydorn, back to Erickson. Down into the right corner to Hoffman. Hoffman was losing his balance, tried to pass it in, and the ball hit the sideline, and it's going to be out of bounds, off of Elk Mound, and it goes over to the Vikings. And you know what, Dan? That's the correct call. The ball hit the sideline before Hoffman touched it, and it was off the Mounders. So it's out to Hydorn. He brings it across the timeline, gets it over to the right side to Erickson. Erickson puts the three-pointer up. It's no good. Rebound taken down by the Mounders. Vikings can't hit a three-pointer, and with the three-pointers, they're not getting second-chance shots. Mounders have it on the right side. It's Heath with it. Gets it over to Lou on the right. Back out high to Heath. Drives down the lane. Puts it up, no good. Gets his own rebound, lays it up and in. 29-12, 17 points the Vikings are down by. Hajdukovic with it. Feeds it in towards the lane to Hoffman. Back out to Hajdukovic, to Hydorn between the circles, to Gibson on the left side. Gibson tries to drive, and they're going to get a call, and it's off the foot of the Mounders. So it'll be Vikings ball.
Colfax has to find a little inside game. They're all hanging around the perimeter, and it's not getting them anywhere.
Hydorn has it, comes across the timeline. Gets it over to Hajdukovic. Back out to Hydorn. Over to Erickson on the right side. Tries to feed it into the lane to Gibson. Gets tipped. Hydorn picked it up, but then his pass into the lane got intercepted by the Mounders. And down the floor they come. Spartak with it between the circles. Over to Lou on the right side. Down into the corner to Jensen. Cross-court pass. Over to Heath. To Jensen. Back to Heath on the left. To Lou at the top of the key. Drives to the lane. Kicks it out to to Lou. Or Heath, I mean. I'll get these names right yet. But anyway, Heath put it up and in. It is 32-12, and the Vikings take another timeout with 3:54 to go. You're tuned to Viking basketball on the Northern Light Webcasting Network and NLWN TV.
You're tuned to the Northern Light Webcasting Network and NLWN TV. We use advertising revenue to make this service available to you. If you have a business and would like to get your message out to our ever-increasing audience, give us a call at 715-563-1749. We'll be happy to discuss our budget-friendly advertising packages with you. Get your business noticed on the Northern Light Webcasting Network and NLWN TV by calling 715-563-1749.
And we're back at Colfax High School. Rick Olson along with Dan Petschow. Vikings have it. Over on the left side, or on the right side, Erickson with it, tries to drive the baseline, kicks it out high. Gibson with a three-pointer, it's up, no good. Rebound chased down by Hadukovic to Hydorn. High, wide, and right. Then over to Hadukovic on the left side. Back over to Hydorn on the right. Back to Hadukovic on the left. He puts up the three. It's partially blocked. And the Mounders come away with it. Down the floor they come. They got it over to the left side. It's Heath with the shot. It's no good. And the ball goes out of bounds. Last touch by the Mounders. It'll be Viking ball. Mounders putting on some full court pressure. Gibson getting ready to inbound it. Gibson looking. Gets it into Hydorn. Cross court pass over to Hoffman. Hoffman across the timeline. Feeds it over to Hydorn on the right. Hydorn out to Hoffman. High, wide, and left. Cross-court pass to Gibson. Can't handle it. And the Mounders come away with it. Lou on the dribble. Stops in the lane. Kicks it out to Heath. Now they've got it over to Bowl. Out to Bartig. And then over to Lou on the right. Russo with it. Then over to Bartig on the left. To Heath. To Russo. Back over to Heath. Heath drives into the lane. Shot goes up. It's no good. And the ball goes out of bounds. Last touch by the Vikings. It'll be Mounder ball. .223 to go in the first half. Bowl to inbound for the Mounders. Gets it to Heath. Lays it up and in. 35-12. Mounders up on top. This one is getting out of hand pretty quickly here. Hadukovic with it. He tries to feed it into the lane. The pass gets intercepted by the Mounders. Down the floor they come. They feed it back out to Bartig. Then Russo with three-pointer, no good. Rebound taken down by Heath. To Bartig. Out to Bowl. Bowl with it to Russo on the left. Cross-court pass over to the right side. Shot goes up. It's no good. Rebound taken down by the Vikings. Down the floor comes Hydorn. Feeds it over to Hadukovic in the left corner. Back out to Hydorn. Hydorn feeds it off to Erickson. Erickson with the three-pointer. It's no good. Rebound taken down by Lenz, but we have a whistle and a foul. That's going to be the fifth foul on the Mounders, and the foul is on Bowl. It's his second. Inbounding it for the Vikings is Hydorn. Gets it out high to Hadukovic on the right side. Dribbles it out a little higher. Kicks it over to Erickson on the left. Cross-court pass over to Hydorn on the right. Hydorn into the lane, back over to Erickson. Erickson tries the left baseline. It's not there. Feeds it out to Hydorn. Gets it to Reback. Then to Erickson. To Hydorn.
Cross court pass to Hajdukovic, down underneath to Lenz. Lenz to Hajdukovic. Hajdukovic puts the shot up, it's no good. Rebound taken down by Erickson, puts the shot up, no good. Next rebound is being chased down by the Mounders. 41 seconds to go. If I'm not mistaken, this is a 31-2 run that the Mounders are on. And it's Russo with it. They get it over to Bartig between the circles. Over to Lou.
Playing for one shot.
Then to Russo. Back out high now to Lou. He backs things out. They're going to take their time. 9 seconds to go in the half. And we have a
5-second call.
Yep. They call that a close guarding call.
Yeah, Colfax will get one shot here.
4 seconds. Long shot by Reebok. It doesn't go, and there's the buzzer in the first half. 35-12. The Mounders have shut down the Vikings in the first half. They've got a hole to dig out of, and we're going to see how they do that in the second half. But before we get to that, we have Viking halftime coming up, and that's coming up for you right now.
Time now for Viking Halftime with this week's edition of Viking Profile and the Colfax High School Report. That's all coming up following this brief timeout.
So, I just moved in with this family, and it's embarrassing. The little one, he likes to go outside and crawl around in the giant litter box. I don't know what he's doing. I mean, I was born and I knew how to use the litter box. Look at that. That's disgusting. Oh, poop already. You're making me nervous. Oh, okay, I can't look at this anymore. I really hope he grows out of this, for his sake.
Time now for Viking Profile, where we take a closer look at one of the Colfax Viking players. And now, Viking Profile.
Today on Viking Profile, we're talking with Mitch Riesdorf, and Mitch is a senior here at Colfax High School, and we're going to get to know Mitch right after this brief timeout.
If you love them enough to relearn math so you can teach them math, then surely you'll check nhtsa.gov/the-right-seat to make sure they're correctly buckled in the back seat.
We're talking with Mitch Riesdorf on Viking Profile. And Mitch, we know that you play basketball, but are you involved in any other activities at school?
At the moment, no.
Okay. So when did you start playing basketball, and what kind of experience have you had?
Fourth grade, entirely enjoyable. My entire high school beforehand.
It's not worth doing if you're not having fun, right?
Yeah, it's a sport. You're meant to have fun while doing it.
So what's the most important thing that you've learned playing basketball?
Remember that and always keep your chin up.
Okay. So when not playing basketball, or you're not at school, what are some other things that keep you interested or occupied?
I read a lot, swim, run, a lot of aerobiotics. Just a lot of exercise, really.
Okay. So a few rapid fire questions for you. Pie, ice cream, cake, or cookies?
Oh, cookies, depending on the maker.
Okay. Any particular flavor or anything? Or
I would have to say oatmeal chocolate chip.
Oh, okay. All right. Oatmeal chocolate chip. I don't know that I've had anybody say that one. And you know what? I've had those, and they are one of my favorites.
Yes, sir.
Now, your favorite color and why?
Oh, I'd have to say blue. I don't know. It just always has been. My brothers had red and green, and blue was kind of mine.
All right.
Rock with
now,
it.
if you could have a superpower, what would it be?
Teleportation, easy. Get anywhere. Wouldn't have no gas money.
And that comes in, that's a problem sometimes, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Especially when you're playing basketball, ain't much time to work.
Now, do you have a favorite NBA team?
Not really. I do like the T-Wolves, though.
Okay. How about a favorite collegiate team?
Oh, Dodgers.
Okay. Now, we're talking with Mitch Riesdorf here on Viking Profile. And Mitch, what are your plans for after high school?
I actually graduate at semester, and after that I go immediately into the National Guard.
Okay.
And so after that, I plan to go to UW Eau Claire for about 8 years, all completely free.
There you go. So how about a shout out to your family?
Shout out to my middle brother, Marcus, the older brother, Matthew. And I love my parents. Love you too, Dad. I know the moms always get shut out.
So when people watch Viking games and they're looking for Mitch Riesdorf, what number are they looking for and what position do you play?
24 for Kobe. And normally I'm just the big guy.
Okay. Well, we want to thank Mitch Riesdorf for joining us today on Viking Profile. And coming up next is more Viking Halftime.
You've been listening to Viking Profile. This has been a presentation of the Northern Light Webcasting Network.
Did you know dragging chains can spark a wildfire?
Only you can prevent wildfires.
Time now for the Colfax High School report with an update about what's happening at Colfax High School.
At Colfax High School last week, the girls Vikings basketball team went 2-0 and remained in a tie for first place in the Dunn St. Croix Conference. The Vikings defeated the Spring Valley Cardinals 75-24 last Tuesday and then knocked off the Elk Mound Mounders 47-35 on Friday. Those wins leave the Vikings with a 6-3 overall record and 6-1 win-loss record in the Dunn St. Croix Conference. The Viking boys had to remain idle due to COVID-19. They were scheduled to play at Elk Mound and also travel to Boyceville last week. Those games will be made up with the Vikings traveling to Boyceville now on January 25th and traveling to Elk Mound on Saturday, January 30th. We will carry that game at Boyceville on the 25th on the Northern Light Webcasting Network and NLWN TV. Coming up this week, the Viking girls will take on the Boyceville Bulldogs on Monday and travel to Elmwood to take on the Elmwood Plum City Wolves on Thursday. We'll carry both of those games on the Northern Light Webcasting Network and NLWN TV with Viking pregame at 6:55 and live play-by-play starting at 7:10. Then on Saturday, the Vikings will travel to Ellsworth to take on the Ellsworth Panthers. Unfortunately, we will not be able to carry that game as we will be covering a previously scheduled ice racing event from Bloomer. The Viking boys are scheduled to host the Spring Valley Cardinals on Tuesday and the Elk Mound Mounders on Friday. We will also carry that Elk Mound game on Friday on the Northern Light Webcasting Network and NLWN TV with Viking pregame at 6:55. Live play-by-play starts at 7:10. Also this week, the middle school girls basketball team will travel to Boyceville on Tuesday, and they will host Elk Mound on Thursday. Don't forget, the Science Olympiad will be held on Saturday, January 23rd at UW River Falls. And that's what's happening at Colfax High School for January 17th through the 23rd.
You've been tuned to the Colfax High School report with an update about what's happening at Colfax High School. Stay tuned. Coming up next is more Viking halftime and then second half action.
You've been tuned to Viking Halftime. Stay tuned. Coming up is second half action of today's Viking game on the Northern Light Webcasting Network and NLWN TV.
I don't remember how it started.
Go to that.
Our back and forth. It always came back.
Dad!
You probably don't remember what you told me,
That was perfect.
but I heard every word.
And welcome back to Colfax High School. Rick Olson along with Dan Petchow. Vikings trailing big time in this one to Elk Mound, 34-12. Dan, how did we get to that score?
Yeah, here's the scores right now. Here's the leading scores for Elk Mound. They're going to, number 3, Ben Heath leads the team with 11 points. For the Vikings, their leading score right now is number 23, Noah Hydorn. So, yeah, 34-12.
In fact, what led us there is, and we're trying to remember if it's a 31-2 run or a 29-2 run. Either way, it's hard to keep up when that happens. And
Elk Mound's got great defense right now. They're getting open looks, and they're hitting the shots when they have to. Colfax has to find a way to do the same thing.
And Mounders get the ball to start the second half. It's going to be Bowl inbounding it. He's going to get it over to Bartig as soon as they hand him the ball.
Got to reset the clock.
And here we go. 18 minutes on the clock, and Bowl has it, gets it into Bartig, who brings it across the timeline. Back over to Bowl. Out high to Heath. And now to Russo with a three-pointer. He hit it. Caden Russo. That's 10 points for him tonight. Hydorn with it. He gets put in a trap. Feeds it down low to Hoffman, who lays it up and in. Finally, someone takes the lid off the hoop for the Vikings. Mounders have it. They get it over to Lou, brings it across the timeline, feeds it down to Heath, drives in, puts it up, no good, rebound, taken away by the Vikings. Hydorn with it, pulls up, gets it out to Hoffman, spin move, puts a shot up, it goes in. Tanner Hoffman with a couple quick baskets. 37-16, Vikings still trailing by a bunch. Lou with it. They get it across the timeline to Heath, then out to Bartig. Now over to Bowl, underneath to Heath, and we have a whistle and a foul underneath. And the foul is going to be on Hajdukovic. It's his first personal, first team foul on the Vikings. Bowl to inbound for the Mounders. They feed it over to Heath, who lays it up and in. Ben Heath with 9 points on the night. Hydorn with it, across the timeline. Gets it on the left side to Erickson, into the lane to Hoffman, tries to feed it over to Hajdukovic, and the ball goes out of bounds. Mounders bring it down the floor. Bartig with it, gets it over to the right side. He gets it to Lou, then they feed it over to Bartig, who drives into the lane, and he goes up. Shot doesn't go in, but he got fouled on the way up. Fouls on Hydorn. It's his first personal, second team foul on the Vikings. First shot by Bartig is good. 40-16. Second shot on the way. It's also good. Hajdukovic to inbound it to Hydorn, who lost the handle, and then the Mounders get it, and we have a whistle and a foul.
Yeah, good job by Nate Hajdukovic to take the charge there.
So Heath took it into Hajdukovic. It's his second personal. First team foul on the Mounders. And Hydorn has it, or check that, that's Hoffman has it, comes across the timeline, cross-court pass over to Hydorn on the left, down into the corner to Erickson. Back out high to Gibson between the circles. Gibson dribbles it over and kicks it off to the right side to Hajdukovic. Back out to Gibson with a three on the way, no good. Rebound taken down by Erickson, goes back up, and he got fouled on the way up. So Caden Erickson at the line for the Vikings. His first shot's on the way. It's good. Erickson's second shot. It's on the way. It's also good. 41-18. Vikings down by 23. Pass gets inbounded as the Vikings put on full court pressure. Bartig with it, over to Bowl. Over to Lou, gets it across the timeline, down into the right corner to Heath. Now they get it out high to Bowl between the circles. Bowl feeds it over to Bartig on the left side. High, wide, and left, down into the left corner to Heath. Heath looking for somewhere to go, got it to Lou. They feed it out to Bowl between the circles. Then to Russo on the right side. Cross-court pass to Bartig. He goes up, and we have a travel being called. Bartig put on the brakes, but took an extra step in the process.
Yeah, good job by Tanner Hoffman to get over there and shut him down.
And the Vikings bring it down the floor. Hydorn with it. Feeds it to Erickson on the right side. Cross-court pass to Hajdukovic on the... Or check that, Hajdukovic is on the right side. We have a whistle and a... And we have a blocking foul being called on Hoffman. It's his first personal, third team foul on the Vikings. And the Mounders bring it down the floor. It's Lou with it in the backcourt still. Now they get it into the forecourt to Heath on the right side. Back out high to Bowl. Drives to the top of the key. And then they feed it down underneath to Heath, who lays it up and in. 43-18. Mounders on top. Vikings feed it over to the right side. Hoffman with it. Tries the right baseline. Ball gets taken away, and down the floor come the Mounders. This is Russo with it in the right corner. Hands it off to Heath. Heath picked up his dribble. Ball gets knocked out of bounds off of Hajdukovic. It'll be Mounder ball. Inbound down into the right corner to Russo. He dribbles it back out high, feeds it off to Bartig between the circles. Over to the left side now to Heath. Back over to the right side to Lou. Down to Russo in the left or in the right corner. Between the circles to Bowl. Then now they've got it to Bowl again, just slightly off to the right side. To Russo between the circles. They feed it down into the lane. Ball gets knocked away by the Vikings. Quickly down the floor comes Erickson, and his pass gets knocked out of bounds. And they're going to say it's Viking or Elk Mound ball. And Coach Knoll does not like that call at all. And I got to say, Coach Knoll might have something to complain about there. Anyway, Elk Mound has the ball. They get it out between the circles to Bowl. Bowl over to the right side to Bartig. Then down into the corner to Jensen. Jensen out high to Russo. Over to the left side now to Bowl. Passed on underneath. Got away from them and picked up by Hajdukovic, who brings it into the forecourt for the Vikings. Cross-court pass over to Erickson. Erickson back over to Hydorn, drives it to the lane, puts it down underneath Tristan Lenz, who lays it up and in. 43-20. Vikings trail by 23. Elk Mound with it. In the forecourt, Bull with it, high, wide, and right. Cross-court pass over to Bartig. Down at the baseline now to Russo. Back to Bartig. Drives the left baseline, stops, spins, kicks it out to Jensen. He feeds it to Bull down the right side. Pass over to the left side. Bartig with a three-pointer on the way. It's no good. Rebound by Jensen, but he got fouled on the rebound by Lenz. And it was before the shot. So that's the first personal on Tristan Lenz, fourth foul on the Vikings. Mounders will have it out of bounds. Inbound pass to Russo. And we've got a hold being called on the Vikings. And it's also on Lenz. So that's 2 fouls on Lenz real quick. Bang, bang, 5 fouls on the Vikings. Mounders inbound it. Bull with a shot from the corner, no good. Rebound taken down by the Vikings. Hajdukovic with it across the timeline. Hajdukovic feeds it over to the left side to Heidorn. Heidorn into the left corner to Lenz. Tried to penetrate the left baseline, couldn't do it. Now looking for someone to go with it. Cross-court pass out to Hajdukovic. Hajdukovic feeds it over to Reebok. Reebok tries the right baseline, and we're going to get a foul underneath. And the foul is on Bartig. That's his third personal, third team foul on the Mounders.
Colfax starting to find their way into down to the baseline, so we'll see if they can get some points in.
Inbound pass to Lenz. He puts a shot up. It's going to count, and he got fouled on the way up. (43-22). Tristan Lenz goes to the line for the +1. His shot's on the way. It's off the back of the air. No good. Rebound gets knocked out of bounds, and it's going to be Viking ball. And we have a timeout on the floor being called by the Elk Mound Mounders. With a timeout on the floor, it's Vikings 22, but the Mounders have 43. And you are tuned to Viking basketball on the Northern Light Webcasting Network and NLWN TV.
NLWN TV is excited to present NWA Ice Racing action. Next Saturday we'll present live ice racing from Bloomer, Wisconsin. Join us at 11:45 a.m. from Como Lake in Bloomer. That's live NWA Ice Racing action on Saturday, January 23rd at 11:45 on NLWN TV.
And we're back here at Colfax High School. Hey, by the way, the next boys basketball game on the Northern Light Webcasting Network and NLWN TV will be next week, Thursday, when the Vikings travel to Elmwood to take on the Elmwood Plum City Wolves. Viking pregame starts at 6:55 and live play-by-play begins at 7:10. That's next Thursday, Viking boys at Elmwood. Vikings inbound the ball to Erickson, high, wide, and right. Cross-court pass over to Heidorn on the left, or on the right side. Back to Erickson on the left. Erickson puts up a three-pointer, no good. Reebok with the rebound, he puts it back up and in. Vikings trying to scrap their way back into it. Inside of 20 now. 43-24. Down comes Heath. He puts the shot up. We're going to get a whistle underneath. And it looks like they're going to call Reebok with the foul.
Yeah, he was too deep.
So that puts Heath to the line for 2. First shot is up, no good. By the way, that's the second foul on Reebok. Second shot is up and in. 44-24.
Vikings have the ball. They come down the floor. Heidorn with it. Heidorn feeds it to Erickson into the lane. Puts the shot up. No good. Rebound. Lenz with it. He goes up and got fouled on the way up. He's going to go to the line for a pair.
Good job by Tristan Lenz there for Colfax to get to the hole and get the rebound.
That foul was on Heath. It's his third personal. 15 foul on the Mounders. Lenz's first shot is no good. Rolled around and off. Couple people into the lineup for the Mounders. We have Lou and Russo coming into the lineup, replacing Bowl and Heath. Lenz's second shot is off the back there, no good, and we have a lane violation against the Mounders, and so Lenz is going to get another try on that second shot. Shots on the way, off the front of the iron, no good. And now we've got another lane violation being called on the Mounders. I'm not sure what they're calling him for, Dan, are you?
No, they're calling him over the free throw line, but I'm not for sure this one.
And the shot went in. So you give him a couple lane violations, a couple extra cracks at it, and Lenz makes it good. 44-25. Vikings trailing by 19. Mounders have the ball in the forecourt. Bowl with it. Feeds it over to Lou. Back out high to Jensen. To Bowl. Over to Jensen on the right side. Jensen out high to Lou. Then to Meyer. Now to Jensen from three. Shots off, no good. Rebound taken down by Erickson for the Vikings. Down the floor they come. Try to feed it off, but we got a foul being called on Bowl. That's his third personal. Sixth team foul. Both teams will be in the bonus after the Vikings inbound the ball. Vikings looking to get it inbounded. And they feed it in, but the pass gets intercepted by the Mounders. Down the floor comes Russo, drives to the hole, puts it up, and goes in and out and back in again. 46-25, Vikings bring it down the floor across the timeline. Heidorn on the dribble. Passing over to the right side to Hajdukovic. High, wide, and right. Throws it over to the left side, and boy, the person closest to that one was the official.
That little miscommunication there by Colfax.
So the Mounders bring it down the floor. Lou on the dribble. He takes it between the circles. Feeds it over to the right side to Bowl. Over to the left to Lou. Tries his left baseline. Gets turned around. Back out to Bowl. To Jensen at the top of the key. Then to Bowl. Bowl takes it over to the top of the key. Loses the handle on it. Turns around. Kicks it out to the left. Three-pointer on the way. No good. Rebound taken down. And we have a timeout being called by the Mounders. 9:45 to go, 46-25. Mounders with the lead. Vikings trying to scrap their way back into it, and you're tuned to Viking basketball on the Northern Light Webcasting Network and NLWN TV.
Are your pooch's proportions putting on pounds? Or is your kitty's constitution constantly complaining? Well, stop by and see the friendly folks at the Colfax Animal Hospital. Dr. Bruce Buckley and his staff will be happy to help you get your family friend back on the road to healthy living. That's the Colfax Animal Hospital. Call them at 715-962-3380.
Back at Colfax High School. Vikings trailing in this one. Mounders inbound the ball. And the shot goes up. It's no good. Rebound taken down by the Vikings. Down the floor they come. Erickson with it. Lays it up and in. 46-27. Vikings down by 19.
Jensen with it. Cross-court pass, still in the backcourt for the Mounders to Bowl, to Lou, now in the forecourt. To Meyer, then out to Jensen, to Lou, to Bowl on the left side. Bowl at the free throw line. Feeds it over to Meyer. Back over to Bowl on the left. Takes down the left side, lost the handle. Ball goes out of bounds, and it will be Viking ball.
Colfax starting to make a little noise. They're still down, but they're starting to get a little rhythm now.
Heidorn with it. Bringing it down the floor. Gets it off to the right side to Hajdukovic. Tries to feed it into the lane to Lenz. Mounders take the ball away, and down the floor they come. Bowl with it, feeds it over to the right side to Lou. Lou drives to the lane, turns around, kicks it back out high to Jensen. Jensen takes it down to the right side. Out to Russo, to Lou. Over to the left side to Bowl. Back over to the right side to Jensen. He's at the free throw line. Now back out. This is Lou with it. Gets it out to Bowl. Over to Jensen on the left. Back out high to Lou. Back to Jensen on the left. Jensen drives into the lane. Kicks it back out to Lou on the left. To Jensen, high, wide, and left. Mounders in no hurry right now. Trying to work for a good shot. Russo with it. High, wide, and right. Takes it between the circles. Leads it over to Jensen. Back over to Bowl, or to Lou. Lou drives into the lane, goes up with it. Nothing there, and Reback comes down with a rebound for the Vikings. Down the lane is Erickson. He lays it up and in, and we have a timeout called by the Vikings. So with 7:52 to go in this one, 46-29, Mounders leading the Vikings, 7:52 left. You're tuned to Viking basketball on the Northern Light Webcasting Network and NLWN TV.
If you have a high-deductible health plan, opening a health savings account at Dairy State Bank will allow you to save tax-free dollars to pay for a long list of health-related services allowed by the IRS. Dairy State Bank HSAs are serviced locally and work like a regular checking account. You can use a debit card or check to pay for expenses and access your account through online or mobile banking. Visit DairyStateBank.com to learn more about HSAs and online or mobile banking. Dairy State Bank, banking on relationships. Member FDIC.
And we're back here at Colfax High School. And Dan, I hope you've got your long woolies ready to go, because tomorrow we have a live racing event from Bloomer, ice racing.
Oh, boy.
It's going to be chilly out there, but you know what? I think we're going to have a really good time, because that's a lot of fun, a lot of action going on, and our coverage is going to start at 11:45 here on NLWN TV. Live trying to remember, NWIRC, that's what it is, NWIRC Racing Circuit for ice racing.
Yeah, I'm sure once the first car or four-wheel comes on the track, all the cold will go away.
Yeah, let's hope so. All right, the Mounders to inbound the pass. They get it in. Jensen, then over to Lou. Then to Heath, takes it into the forecourt. Back out to Lou. Then to Bartig. Then over to Lou on the right side. Drives into the lane. We're going to get a whistle, and a foul is going to be called. I believe it's on Heidorn. No, check that. It's on Hoffman. So Nate Lou at the line. He's got 2 points on the night. His first shot is on the way. It's good. And now the bonus shot is on the way. It's also good. Vikings down by 19. 7:36 to go. Vikings into the forecourt. Heidorn on the dribble. Feeds it down into the left corner with Erickson with a three. No. And the rebound taken down by the Mounders. Down the floor comes Bartik. Feeds it over to Lou on the right side. Gets it to Bartik at the top of the key. Over to the left side to Heath. Out high to Russo. Russo with a three-pointer on the way. It's off the iron, no good. Rebound taken down by Hoffman. And we're going to get a foul. And a foul is on Ben Heath. It's his fourth personal. He's going to take a seat. Bowl comes into the lineup. Erickson takes a break. And Ensminger into the lineup for the Vikings. Gibson's first free throw is good. That's the first point for Drew Gibson tonight. Second shot on the way, and it rolls around and in. 48-31. And the Mounders have it inbound, and they're going to call Hoffman with a foul. That's going to be his third personal, and we walk the length of the court. And so it's going to be Heath at the line. His first shot is up. It's good. Oh, check that. That's Nate Liu at the line. And his second shot is good. And we have a horn and into the lineup. For the Vikings is Nate Hajdukovic. Going to give Hoffman a bit of a break. Looks like Coach Knowles putting his little quickness into the lineup now. Ensminger with it. Gets it out to Heidorn. Heidorn high, wide, and left. Directing traffic. Feeds it across to the right side to Hajdukovic. Back, high pass over to Heidorn. Gets it down to Ensminger from three. Off the iron, no good. Rebound taken down by the Mounders. Bartig with it. Gets it in. They finally get it into the lane to Bowl, but he loses the handle. Gets it out to Liu. Liu drives it into the lane. Kicks it out to Bartig. Over to Bowl. To Russo. To Bowl. To Russo on the left. Out to Bartig at the top of the key. Over to Liu on the right side. Looking for somewhere to go. Feeds it to Russo. Gets it out to Bowl. To Jensen on the left side. Underneath to Russo, who is wide open. Got the shot to fall and draws the foul on Hajdukovic.
Good ball rotation there by Elk Mound to find the open man on the baseline.
Second foul on Hajdukovic. Ninth foul on the Vikings this half. And Russo's +1 shot goes in. 53-31, 22-point lead now for the Mounders. Heidorn tries to get it to Ensminger and just threw it a little bit too high. And Erickson into the lineup, replacing Ensminger. Bartig brings it down the floor. Stops between the circles, feeds it over to the left side to Russo. Then out high to Bowl. To Liu on the right. Liu over to Russo on the left. Takes it between the circles. To Liu. Back out to Russo. To Bowl. He's on the left side. Then to the top of the key to Bartig. To Russo on the right side. To Jensen at the top of the key. Gets it over to Bowl. Out to Liu. To Jensen. Mounders just running some clock now. Feed it down into the right corner to Russo. Down underneath to Jensen. Loses the handle on it. Picks it up. Tosses it back out, and they get it out to Bowl. He feeds it down into the right corner, and the ball gets knocked out of bounds. It'll be Mounder ball. 53-31, 4:52 to go. Tristan Lenz takes a seat. They get the ball into Bartig.
Bartig takes it to the top of the key. Over to Lou. Now to Bowl, and we've got a whistle. And a holding foul being called on the Vikings. That's on Caden Erickson. It's his second personal, 10th team foul on the Vikings, so that will put Bartig to the line for 2. First shot is good. And the second shot is on the way, and it's also good. 55-31. Hydorn with it, gets it over to Hajdukovic on the right side, back to Hydorn on the left. Feed it to the free throw line to Reebok, out to Gibson on the right side, down to the corner to Hajdukovic, and he put up the 3 and he hit it. Nathan Hajdukovic with a 3-pointer.
That's a tough shot. He banked it from the side.
Down the floor come the Mounders. Vikings putting on some pressure. They finally break it into the forecourt. Bowl with it. They get it out to Lou. Back to Bowl between the circles. 55-34. Vikings down by 21. Bowl has it. And then over to Bartig, and he took an extra step. He got the ball kind of caught on his hip as he was trying to swing the ball around and pass it. And his feet didn't understand that the ball was stuck. So Hydorn brings it down the floor. Across the timeline. He's down underneath, tries to lob one into Reebok and just kind of over-lobbed it a little bit. It goes out of bounds, and it will be Mounder ball. Mounders have it in the backcourt. Lou with it. They get it over to Bowl. Cross-court pass to Lou into the forecourt. Out to Bartig. Now Bowl has it on the right side. Drives down the right side of the lane. Lays it up and in. He had a Boulevard wide open for him that time. 57-34. Vikings bring the ball down the floor. Erickson. Back out to Hydorn. Over to Hajdukovic. To Gibson. At the top of the key. Gets it over to Hydorn on the right or on the left side, and the pass into the lane gets intercepted by the Mounders. And down the floor they come. This was the trouble the Vikings ran into in the first half. They get it over to Bartig, and we have a foul being called on Hajdukovic as he tried to knock the ball loose.
Yeah, Colfax kind of getting a little sloppy on offense here. They have to kind of get back in the rhythm here. There's only 3 minutes left, but try to make a game of it, I guess, yet.
Foul was on Hajdukovic. It's his third. Bartig's first free throw is good. Into the lineup for the Vikings is Jack Charlo, replacing Drew Gibson. Little bench clearing going on right now by the Vikings. Jensen also into the lineup, and Max Knutson into the lineup for the Vikings. Bartig's second shot is on the way. Rolls around, it's good. 9 points for Bartig on the night. Hydorn brings the ball down the floor for the Vikings. Gets picked up as he comes through the center circle. Feeds it over to the right side to Charlo. Back over to the left to Hydorn. Down into the corner to Knutson. Back out high to Hydorn. To Hajdukovic in the left corner. Jump shot from the left corner is no good. Rebound being batted around, taken away by Charlo. Puts the shot up, no good. Rebound taken down by the Mounders. Bartig with it. He gets it over to Bowl as he brings it across the timeline. And we have a...
That's my first mask below the nose I've ever seen in my life.
And that was what the call was. So he's got to come out of the game.
I'm not for sure of that. How that goes, you know, do you have to just sit for one play, or?
I don't know.
Very interesting.
Or maybe he was going to be substituted for anyway, because they did have 3 people coming in.
That could be. So
the Mounders inbound the ball.
It doesn't cause a change of possession or anything, so maybe they just stop the game and make them fix the mask and so on. Mounders get it out high, wide, and right, then over out to the top of the key to Bartholomew. And it's over to Todd, who just came in. Driving into the lane, trying to go up with it, is Gabbert. And the foul is going to be on Charlo. It's his first personal. And Jack Gabbert to the line for the Mounders. Shot is up off the back of the iron, no good. 59-34, 2:04 to go. Second shot on the way. It's also off the back of the iron. Coming down with it is Knutson. He comes quickly down the floor. Long, leaning layup. It's no good. Got his own rebound. And then down the floor quickly come the Mounders. Shot goes up, no good. Rebound taken down by the Mounders. Put back by Gabbert, no good. And they get the ball back again. Delikowski put it up and in. (61-34). Vikings with it now. Albright with it. Gets it over to Ensminger. Back to Albright on the left side. Over to the right side to Knutson. A jumper puts it up. In and out. No good. Delikowski with the rebound for the Mounders. Get it off to Johnson. To Delikowski. Back over to Todd, who puts the shot up, no good. Rebound taken down by Charlo for the Vikings. And Sminger down the floor. And we have a whistle and a foul being called. Foul is being called on Brex Todd. It's his second personal. I don't know that that's correct, is it? No, I don't think so. I think they got the wrong foul on somebody there. Anyway, the shot by Ensminger is good. I think they confused Todd with Charlo. Anyway, second shot is also good. 61-36. Down the floor come the Mounders. They get it over to Johnson. Feeds it back out to the top of the key. Jumper from there is no good by Bartholomew. He's got it again. Drives into the lane. Puts it up. No good. Rebound taken down by Charlo. Feeding it over to Knutson. Then down the floor to Ensminger. Back out to Knutson. Launches a three. It's off the iron. No good. Rebound taken down by Albright. He puts the shot up. No good. Rebound taken down by the Mounders. Gabbert. And they feed it over to Johnson. 22 seconds left. Feeding it over to Delikowski. 15 seconds remaining to Todd. Then out to Johnson. 8 seconds. He's just going to dribble the timeout. And that's going to do it tonight. Final score in this one. The Elk Mound Mounders 61 and the Vikings 36. That's a tough one for the Vikings tonight, but we will have Viking postgame coming up right after this timeout. You're tuned to Viking basketball on the Northern Light Webcasting Network and NLWN TV.
Maybe you can make retirement happen. After all, you made her college years happen. Opening that education savings account when she was little. Spearheading a campus tour. And another, and another, and another, and another. Bam! Deciphering financial aid. She was like, what? But now she's like, you aced planning for college. Now get the tips you need to get on track at aceyourretirement.org.
Roll over. Chant high five. All right. When you adopt a shelter pet, you discover all the things that make them unique. And your mother and... I am totally a hot person. Right, guys? Thanks for being honest. They're a little bit of a lot of things, but they're all pure love. Adopt pure love at theshelterpetproject.org.
Thank you for joining us for Colfax Viking Boys Basketball. This has been a presentation of the Northern Light Webcasting Network and NLWN-TV. Stay tuned. Coming up next is Viking Post Game, where we'll take a look back at today's Viking game.
Hey world, I have a quick message. It's about safe driving. Alright, let's go. Anytime you're driving, have the seatbelt buckled tight. Both hands on the wheel and your phone out of sight. When not in your hand trying to text somebody back. Because if you do, your car might get smacked. The moral of the story, just put your phone down. The people on the road will stay safe and sound. Put your phone down, put your phone down. People on the road will stay safe and sound. Yeah.
Time now for Viking Post Game, a wrap-up of today's Colfax Viking Boys game. And now, Viking Post Game.
And we're back here at Colfax High School with Viking Post Game. Vikings drop a tough one tonight, 61-26 tonight. The Mounders just had it in for them. Dan, I'll tell you what, do you have numbers for us yet?
I do.
Okay, why don't we do that first, and then we can chat about the game after that. But here, let us know how the scoring went.
Here's the scores for Elk Mound tonight. Their leading scorer was number 11, Caden Russo, with 15 points, followed by number 3, Ben Heath. He had 14 points. We had number 5, Ryan Bowl. He had 10. We had number 2, Ryan Bartig, with 9. We had Nate Liu and Michael Jensen. They both had 6 points. And number 35, Drew Delikowski, had 2. For the Colfax Vikings, their leading scorer tonight was number 15, Caden Erickson. He had 8 points, followed by Tristan Lenz with 7. We had Nate Hajdukovic with 6. We had Tanner Hoffman with 5. We had Noah Heidorn with 4. And we had Elijah Ensminger, Hunter Reebok, and Drew Gibson with 2 points each. 61-36.
And I tell you what, the Vikings gave up a big run in the end of the last half of the first half. They gave up that. We'll give them the benefit of the doubt and say it was a 29-2 run to finish off the first half, and that's 27-point difference. And what do we have here? 25-point game. That makes a big difference right there. And the Vikings played them pretty even in the second half. Mounders did outscore the Vikings in the second half, but it was only 26-24. So Vikings it wasn't meant to be tonight.
Yeah, Elk Mound hit some big threes here in the first half to kind of start to pull away a little bit. There was a few turnovers by Colfax, and Elk Mound got into the lane, I noticed, in the first half a lot more, and that was kind of the difference. And when you get a big jump like that, you're bound to win.
That's right. Well, I'll tell you what, we'll have a little bit more to say about this one right after this timeout. You're tuned to Viking Postgame on the Northern Light Webcasting Network and NLWN-TV.
NLWN-TV is excited to present NWARC racing action. Next Saturday, we'll present live ice racing from Bloomer, Wisconsin. Join us at 11:45 a.m. from Como Lake in Bloomer. That's live NWARC ice racing action on Saturday, January 23rd at 11:45 on NLWN-TV.
What to expect when you're expecting a teenager.
Today we're talking about how to wake up your teen, and this works literally every time.
Good kisses. Good kisses. You heard how loud
I heard. It wasn't you. It was the...
Is that bacon? You don't have to know it all to be a perfect parent. Thousands of teens in foster care will love you just the same.
When I was your age, I was just like you, fascinated by stars. But now I get to search for life in the universe. And who knows, maybe life is looking for us too.
So we're like aliens to them?
Yeah. Does anyone want to be a scientist now?
I do.
Awesome. We need more girls in STEM.
Maybe we can find aliens.
And welcome back to Colfax High School. Rick Olson along with Dan Petchow, where the Vikings just took one on the chin, 61-36 at the hands of the Elk Mound Mounders. Dan, this one hurts a little bit more because there was a lot riding on this game. The Vikings now have 2 losses in the conference. That doesn't take them out of the race by any stretch because the Mounders still have 1. Spring Valley has 2. It's still a doable thing, but they're going to have to perform a lot better than they did tonight.
Yep. Yeah, they can go back and look at everything that happened tonight, make some adjustments, look at the other games coming up, and try to get ready for those, put this one behind.
And they do see the Mounders again, so that's a good opportunity. They also see Spring Valley. They still have control of their own destiny for the most part, and so hopefully the Vikings can find a way. I'm quite sure we're not seeing a coach tonight. I'm pretty sure, but so 61-36. I'll tell you what, we're going to take another quick time out, and then we'll be back and take a look at what's coming up on the Northern Light Webcasting Network and NLWN TV, and then we'll bid you all a good evening. So we'll be back right after this timeout. You're tuned to Viking basketball, or Viking postgame, on the Northern Light Webcasting Network and NLWN TV.
Hey! Okay. Mm-hmm.
If you love me enough to tolerate my perfect little pets and all their glorious dander, then of course you'll visit nhtsa.gov/the right seat to make sure I'm in the right car seat.
When I was 10, my mom got deported. We had a difficult time, and I feel that's why I didn't get to finish school. My husband is really supportive in a way that he pushed me to go back to school.
She wants to have a career so her kids can look up to her.
They both keep me motivated to go to school, and they see that if I do it, like, they can do it too, you know? I feel that everything's possible.
Find free adult education classes near you at finishyourdiploma.org.
Maybe you can make retirement happen. After all, you made home ownership happen. Homeschooling yourself on loans, beefing up your credit score.
So I'm pre-approved.
You were like, yes! Sorry. Color coding listings, ticking boxes, and flushing every toilet in a 20-mile radius. Home sweet home. You aced house hunting. Now get the tips you need to get on track at aceyourretirement.org.
And Rick Olson, Dan Petchow back here at Colfax High School, where the Vikings took one on the chin tonight. But we have some good stuff coming up on the Northern Light Webcasting Network and NLWN TV. Our next boys game here on the Northern Light Webcasting Network and NLWN TV will be next Thursday. That is a change in our schedule, by the way. But it is next Thursday. The Vikings are going to travel to Elmwood to take on the Elmwood Plum City Wolves. Viking pregame will be at 6:55 and live play-by-play will begin at 7:10. Next girls game will be coming up on Monday, January 25th, when the Viking girls travel to Elk Mound to take on the Lady Elk Mound Mounders in a battle to retain the lead atop the Dunn St. Croix Conference. Viking pregame will be at 6:55 and live play-by-play will begin at 7:10. And Dan, we're actually going to be there for that game. We haven't done a road game in person all season. We've been doing them remotely, but Elk Mound High School contacted me a little bit earlier this week and invited us to come down and actually do the game there at Elk Mound, and we're not going to miss that opportunity. It's a battle for first place we're going to be there for that one.
Yeah, there's still something about live games that I like.
Tell you what, you can see the game a whole lot better, that's for
Right.
sure. And we're sitting in front of a pretty decent TV set, if I do say so myself. And even at that, it's tough. And don't forget, Dan, get a good night's sleep tonight and stay warm tonight, because tomorrow morning we've got stuff that's going on, because we're going to be out in the cold and in the snow that's supposed to be coming, because we're going to be at ice racing. The Northern Wisconsin Ice Racing Club, or NWIRC, will be racing in Bloomer. And our coverage of those races will begin at 11:45 on NLWN TV. I'm actually really looking forward to this. We were over there a couple weeks ago down in Humbird watching them race, and it's a lot of fun, pretty exciting. And so we're gonna cover that on NLWN TV. You got your warm stuff already?
Oh man, do I ever.
Okay. And then don't forget, coming up, we also have in March Classic Wissota racing action. We're going to be reprising 7 of the weekend races from last summer from the Eagle Valley Speedway. Our racing expert, John Fellens, is adding a few features to it. He just recently came back from Arizona from the Wild West Shootout, and he got some interviews from down there, and so that's all going to be part of Classic Wissota racing action, and that's going to start on March 17th. It'll be on Wednesdays, starting on March 17th. It's all designed to help get you ready for the 2021 racing season. Final score in this one, once again, Elk Mound Mounders 61, Vikings 36. For Dan Petchow, this is Rick Olson. You've been tuned to Viking Postgame on the Northern Light Webcasting Network and NLWN TV.
You've been listening to Viking Postgame, a wrap-up of today's Colfax Viking boys game. You can catch Colfax Vikings games by tuning in to any of the Northern Light Webcasting Network outlets. This has been a production of the Northern Light Webcasting Network.